Hey girls, how are we? How's footy?
Good.
Yeah. It's exciting being in season. Loving it.
Yeah.
You guys will love a game today.
Yeah. Hey, how did you get into playing footy? I've grown up with the game. Like my great grandpa was playing for Carlton. I've grown up with all my brothers playing football. So I've just seen them play it and just love the sport.
When did you start back again?
2017. So that's when my club started the girls' teams.
Wow, so when AFLW started? Yeah. How was it like getting back into it after all those years off?
It took a while, but it was really good to get back to the game that you love.
Is it your favourite?
Yeah. I've always done other sports, but like I've never loved like other sports like football.
Yeah.
So it was really good. Yeah.
Started with Auskick, then had to stop because there wasn't really any teams in the club or any clubs around me really. And then I got to about year 5 and 6 and our school did a lot of footy, primary school, and we did quite well and I really enjoyed it. So I decided I'd play at Whitehorse, and then we actually couldn't get a team together in, I think it was, I don't know what year it was, year 8, and then moved to Kew, which was really good because all my school friends played there, and then COVID, so couldn't play. And then back into Rovers and then Chargers and all that, and it's just so much better now.
Oh, you play for the Chargers?
Yeah.
The Chargers. So your dad is your coach, right?
Yeah.
So is he the reason you got into footy?
Yeah. Well, it's kind of just been like a sport that like everyone in my family's played. Like my uncle played AFL at Fitzroy when they were a team. But yeah, so it's always just been like a part of my life, going to lots of footy games as a kid, going for the Bombers. and yeah, I just loved the sport like these two do, and started playing at primary school in year 5 and was the only girl in a team full of boys. There wasn't much sharing of the ball from them, but I really wanted to play, so I went to Fitzroy and played from year 6 on, so yeah.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I didn't play like do any Auskick or anything, but Dad and I always kicked in the park, so that was fun. And then got to high school and they love footy, at MLC, they love footy, so played my first game there, and then from then on I just loved it, best sport ever.
Yeah, that's awesome. I did goal kick, so like the soccer version of Auskick back in the day. That's what my primary school did, so I enjoyed that, and mainly like in primary school and stuff, played just soccer and stuff at lunch, but just did other sports until year 9. Like that's when I got into Fitzroy because they had a girls team start up. That was just the best, I guess, reason for me to start, because I always loved footy, and like my family wasn't hugely into footy, but yeah, like I have a great uncle who played for Essendon. I've always just loved how AFL is played. Like you've got so many skills to learn. You're always kind of looking to get better, and I think I find it so much more rewarding and fun than a lot of other sports I've tried. So yeah.
What did you guys find was like the biggest jump from the level that you played before AFLW to AFLW?
I don't know, I feel like the pathway kind of sets you up for it. So like when we played local, like when I played for Kew Comets, that was good, like my first year. Then I got to Oakley Chargers and that was another step up, and then Vic Metro. So I feel like you're kind of ready for the jump, but it's probably like the workload, like your body's always pretty sore. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I definitely found that going into my first pre-season, it was your body, you're just so sore. Like I would wake up the day after maybe 4 or 5 hour training session. So we start at 4, you finish at about 9:30. You wake up the next day and you can't move. You're so sore. Like you've trained the day before. So your body's just adapting. Like you're getting really strong in the gym. You're doing like so much running. Like it takes a while to adjust to that. Yeah. But once you do kind of get through that stage, you're like even more powerful and like even more fast, and it's so like awesome being like in an elite environment like that, because as much as like those pathways do help, you don't get the dark access and the access, so it's pretty exciting that you are fulfilling your potential, like you're doing.
Yeah, in terms of like environment though, it's still like you still kind of face the same things with the male dominated sport. There's still going to be like, I don't know, when we're at the club, different times we can go in and stuff because the boys are there. But we're working on like integrating the club and like getting to know the men players better. But it's still like kind of similar. You guys probably felt that a little bit.
Yeah.
There's not much at all.
Yeah.
It's pretty girls and boys. Like girls and boys don't train on the same nights. If a girls team is training, it's all the girls teams on one oval, but the boys.
Yeah. Well, my club's like a little different. Like I train on Tuesdays, and I also train with like the Colts boys. So we get to like know each other. So we're a little bit more together with the club. Like the community is very together, and all for the girls, like everything.
Like both programs can give so much to each other. Like, obviously the boys they've been doing it for a while, so they understand how it works, but girls bring kind of a different culture to it.
Yeah, definitely.
What about you?
Well, my club doesn't really have a boys team in our age. They all go to Rondara. So the age group below kind of trains after us, but because they're a bit younger, there's no real integration. But we have 2 teams for my club, so we train with them, which is good for skills.
Is it ever chop and change the teams, or is it pretty set?
Well, for the first, for grading, it kind of was changing just because of numbers and a lot of people at COVID and positions, and people in the holidays were away and coming back and stuff. But I think we've got our set team now, which will be good to play. And it's good that we have more rounds this season.
Is that pretty exciting for you guys? I thought that it could be full time.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy for us as well. We're because we're so busy at the moment, then it's if you were full time, you kind of just get to the club, do everything you need to do, you get to do all extra work to actually become the best athlete you
You've got
can.
time for recovery.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You've got time for no meetings. You know what you're doing. You know what your role is. You can look over your vision. Whereas it feels like a lot of the time
it's very rushed.
we're just rushing because we've got about 15 hours a week to get everything in. And if you've got your training,
we get dinner. We get dinner at the end.
We do.
Eat dinner at 11 o'clock.
Hopefully we can get a few more games because it's continuity as well. If you finally get a game in round 8 or 9, and then the next game is round 10, and then you're done. You don't get that progression. Even if you're an injury, it's similar. You might have an ankle injury for 4 weeks, but that's half your season.
Yeah.
Or you might break a finger and then there's surgery, and that's
the whole
most of the season. It's just anything that goes wrong, it's just so much more severe because you've got to wait a whole year to kind of come around and play again. So,
what was it finding out that you were getting your first game at AFLW?
Yeah, we were doing team selection. We were sitting down, and then half our coach would just he's and he didn't show us the board. He was just reading it out, so he didn't know. Oh, actually, did we know? I think we got told. We kind of all got brought into the office and got told, but then went back out to the gym. Kind of had to be quiet about it. What about?
So I remember you told me you came over. I was doing something in the gym, and you were I'm playing. I was what? That's
Did you know as well?
And I think I just found out I was playing. We were so pumped to play. But my first game at Melbourne was really a real shock because it was I'd just been drafted. I actually just was I might not get it. I probably won't get a game this year. I think I was on the field we were just doing kick to kick, and my coach was hey, come here, and I was oh. And it might have been the Thursday before, or the Tuesday before, and he was oh, guess what? And I was oh, what? And he's you're playing, and I was no, I couldn't believe it.
I reckon being told you're coming back from injury was a better, was more rewarding. I think because for me, I didn't know. I thought I was going to be playing the week after, and they'd all been telling me that in the gym. And I was hey, fine, I've accepted it because I was a bit annoyed about it. I wanted to play earlier. And then half the miners were oh, come into the office and he talked to you. I was oh my God, I'm in trouble. I was actually really scared. Then I went in and they were asking me about what boots I was going to wear. They're what are you going to wear this season? I don't know. I was I'd wear some fluoro ones, maybe a bit flashy. And they were what are you wearing them this weekend? I was oh my God, stop. But they were joking. I was it's a mean joke, but they weren't, so that's good.
It's pretty cool, and it's cool seeing David's bring their parents and stuff. I think the clubs do that pretty well now.
They usually videos on Instagram.
So, who's your guys' role models or favourite player in AFLW?
Can I even? I'd say him. I love watching you play.
I like watching you play too.
Oh, thanks. And you're a great role model, and coaching, and as a player, you're just
good.
I really like Daisy Pearce because she's like a really good role model for, she's doing the commentating for the AFL games and everything.
Yeah.
Like that's such a high standard for the girls as well. Yeah.
I like Taylor Harris as well. I think she's pretty good. Like what she's been through is like really good that she's still playing and like kind of has a voice for everyone else now.
Yeah.
Which I think is really great.
100%. Like it definitely would take a lot of strength to be able to stand up to, I guess, a lot of the country.
Yeah, like anything she does, she knows that she'll probably get criticised, but she's still.
Yeah.
Does anyone have any good footy stories?
2 years ago when I was playing my 50 games, first quarter I dislocated my finger and I didn't realise. So I was playing the whole game with my pinky all like this. Yeah.
How did you not realise?
Yeah.
Pain threshold.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, one of my teammates had to tell me and then I just popped it back in. Yeah.
Playing at St. Mary's, the ground that's like full of life.
Yeah.
Always a good time there.
Yeah.
And then there was like, when we were younger, like probably like under 12s or something, everyone would go in and like do the mud. But it's so gross. It's like the best.
People would deliberately put the ball in that spot so you'd all get muddy.
Yeah, I love like YJFL, like some grounds when middle of winter and the ball will like roll into the middle of the ground, it's all muddy and everyone kind of just like starts walking. It's like, no.
I just remember like someone would kick it really high and then it would like just land in this mud bath and just bounce.
You'll just get stuck.
I hope the ground quality's improved this season.
Yeah.
It probably has because no one's been playing.
Definitely.
What was your biggest low in football and how did you overcome that?
Yeah, for me, I did my ACL in my third season of AFLW, and I think at the time as well, like it was probably already a tough time because I was like in and out of the team a bit. I hadn't really got my foot in the door for the team and working really hard at my game, and then that happened. And obviously ACL is like 12-month injury, as we know, and it just kind of all hit me, and I was like, wow, like footy's gone like for me now, like for a bit, and in a way I had to kind of find myself again and like realise that I was actually someone away from footy and I had to be for a year at least because I wasn't going to go and play footy every weekend. I was just going to be a bit on my own and a bit working through my rehab. So that was pretty hard. I actually traded to Carlton in the off season. I was about 4 or 5 months into my rehab and I traded to Carlton. To my new teammates, so helpful and like got around me, and those low points like were all worth it because then I like really got to know everyone. And
well, I'm actually the same as Matt, so I think I did my ACL like basically
6 weeks after I debuted. Yeah, like after
a
we
year.
both debuted from Carlton.
Yeah, but I think I did it a year after you did yours.
Yeah.
So that was kind of creepy. I'm not happy about it. But anyway, yeah, we both debuted round 1, 2021. But like Matt said, it's like a pretty crappy time, but when you have like footy environment, the team environment around you, and like having players like Mads and the older players who've also done the ACL, like there's so much knowledge there and they helped me through it so much. But yeah, got back rounds 5 this season and played the rest of the games.
Pretty quick recovery. Look at your rising star.
Yeah.
How was that?
That was like crazy, especially because I wasn't expecting it. Like when you play 6 games out of 10, you're like just happy to be back, especially after ACL. You're like, I'm just happy playing footy. But yeah, it was really nice to receive that recognition. I'm just excited for next season, as Mads is. We're playing the midfield together, so we're really working hard already.
How do you guys feel about every club having an AFLW team at the end of this year?
I think it's so cool.
Yeah.
What's your favourite memory from playing YJFL footy?
I think it was our first season at Whitehorse and we've had such a good team, we had such a good culture, we had a great coach as well, and we all played really hard during the season. We came into the grand final knowing that if we like gave it our best shot we had a great chance. It was like a close game and it was just such a good feeling winning, like holding up the flag, singing the song, celebrating like as a team, and then like going out for dinner after. It was just like such a great like experience to have.
Do a lot of those girls still play, or has it been?
Yeah, a lot of them do. Obviously we're all at different clubs. A lot of them are like older in youth teams, but you know you end up playing with them. Like a couple were playing at Chargers when I was there, so it's good to like see them again. You know, you see on like the Yarra Instagram like what they're doing and all that, so it's like really good.
Yeah, Instagram's very cool.
So you come second in the YJFL Best and Fairest last year?
Yeah.
How was that feeling?
That was so exciting because it was like an online one, and I was sitting there with my family, and then like they put everyone up. I'm not in I'm in the top 3, and I'm excited. They go top 2, and I'm like, oh, but it was a really good feeling, and it's like showed that because I did a lot of like training and put a lot of effort in like both.
COVID.
Yeah, and it was just great to like see that like my effort was like paying off.
Ava, you were club captain last year. How's that been, like being a role model for like all your teammates?
Like it's such a good opportunity because over the years it's always been like male club captains. So as like a girl, you're looking up to a male role model like in a club where you just want to have like a female role model to look up to. It's such a good opportunity. So like the little Auskick girls know that like I'm a club captain, and they can come like up to me and ask me questions and everything. It's a really good feeling.
That's really cool. So being at Carlton, what have you found something that makes Carlton so professional that could be transferred to the YJFL?
We have a really good player culture, so like we put a lot of time into getting to know each other. So we activities before the season, we go on like a little pre-season camp. Like we open up to each other about things we've gone through, so we understand each other better, and we just care about getting to know each other. And I think that just goes such a long way with that chemistry on field. Yeah. Which I feel like at local, like that's something you can do where you just organise some catch-ups outside of footy, so you guys can like get to know what you do outside, and then when you do play footy, it's like you've got more than just footy to hold on to. You've got like other things in your life that you can connect on.
And I think when girls aren't playing footy or like team sport, that's kind of what they're missing out on. So get involved.
And a lot of girls we know like don't play footy just to like be good out there on the field. I know a lot of girls who play because they love the friends they make and they love socialising. They just have fun getting outside and getting active. So it's one of the best things that I've found. Is just I've made so many friends over the year, and over the years, and I'm not on teams with them anymore, but we're still friends throughout it. So it's pretty awesome how connecting footy is.
It's always good to like see other friends at like training and stuff, something to look forward to.
Yeah, throughout the week. And you're going through it together, so it just makes it a lot better.
What advice do you have for players like us and other girls in the league that want to play AFLW in the future?
I actually remember pretty distinctly being 10 or 11, and I knew in year 11 that I wanted to make the AFLW. That was my goal before anything else. Like school was kind of up there, but like
stay in school, guys.
I wanted to like first I wanted to get drafted as well, and I had pretty good role models in Katie Brennan, who I went to her gym, and I had lots of like help with like goal setting and all that sort of stuff. I think that's so important. So like sitting down, being like, this is my goal. Like I had this sheet of paper that I kept for like years, and it was like, why won't I get drafted? Like, what do I need to improve on? And I pretty much wrote like, I'm not fit enough, I'm not strong enough. And I pretty much wrote all the reasons why I pretty much reversed that and make that my strength. And writing it all down, I was like, there's like an answer to everything. Like you're never gonna have any excuse if you just write down your weaknesses or whatever and improve on it. And goal setting is definitely huge. But like just asking for help, like the more help you get from people that know what's best, rather than just having to do it all on your own, is just like the best. So if you can seek help now and invest in yourself, invest in your footy, definitely pay off and you become a better player.
100%. Like people want to help you. So if you approach someone who's like a role model to you or someone who you know can make you better, they'll be so happy that you asked them and they'll want to help you. So I know like my biggest thing was like I knew I needed to take advantage of my running power. So I was like, I'm just getting as fit as I can. I had a coach and I got him to run with me 2 times a week, and I was the fittest I've ever been. So, I mean, unfortunately COVID happened, but for the 2 games I played at Oakley, I was pretty fit. So if you know what your strengths are, use them and, I don't know, sharpen the weapon, I guess.
Definitely.
Like just... Speaking of training, how is that for you guys? Like, do you have good access to everything?
Yeah, well, at Fitzroy we train on a Tuesday and a Thursday, so we get 2 times a week,
good.
which is good. Yeah. And we have access to ovals on both those nights, which is really good.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when I was in under 18s at Fitzroy, we struggled a lot to we might get a few to like one session, but getting people to two was really hard, just around like year 12 and like school, and then like even once we got to training, trying to like get people to care and like
do things properly.
Which that was probably the biggest difference getting into like AFLW. Like no one needs like a kick up the mum. Like it's just like everyone's
if you're not going to train hard.
Everyone's gonna you just notice that you might get there at 4 o'clock and there's already like a few girls out having a kick, working on their kicking, or with a coach like working on ground balls. Like it's cool how everyone's so like motivated and driven. Like I think that was the biggest.
And having like more coaches available is really elite, like specialist coaches as well. Do you guys, is it usually just like one, like a parent or something?
Yeah, one or two.
Yeah, one
coach
or two
and assistant coach.
Yeah, exactly.
But I know like Dad's our coach, and he really is such a big pusher for girls like in footy, and he just makes it like so much better. Like he encourages the girls, like wants them to be empowered while playing footy, and that's just a really good feeling and like culture to be a part of.
And that's like nice for you to see because that's your dad.
Yeah, exactly.
He supports it so much.
That's awesome.
Well, we kind of have, because we have two teams that have kind of split, we've got a new coach who's going to start coaching us today, which is really exciting. But the other team, which I was kind of playing in for a bit, we had a younger girl coaching us, which is really good. It's good to have like a female to help because she like understands you more than, well, not necessarily a parent, but someone else. And she's played before recently, which is good. So it's really nice to have a younger influence on us.
I wish I had like so much more time in my weekend so I could come and like help coach YJFL teams, because even going to coach a boys team would be good, just because like you can kind of change like the dynamic. But when I came to I did like a few days night trainings with some of the boys, just like show my face. The younger ones were like really respectful, and they actually seemed like quite engaged when I was giving them tips and stuff, so I thought that was really good. Do you guys think there's a bit of a change?
I remember back in primary school, all I wanted to do was play on the oval at lunchtime with the boys, kick the footy. They were like, no, you can't kick it. Like when I started playing footy, I had casual clothes, like we didn't have a uniform at primary school, like I would wear this like jumper to school, and they're like, why are you wearing that, like you don't even play, like you can't wear that, like. But like now it's like all my close guy mates, they like love like hearing how I'm going in footy, like
It's awesome.
It's like the way people view it has changed so much.
It's just so good.
And hopefully like as they get older, everything can change.
Having like female voices like up high in the club just feel a bit more heard and seen, because they like always get to know you. Like we've got a couple of board members that are female, and they just like come down to training games, they come to away trips with us, and we just we just see how much they care and want to be like a voice for us. So it's really cool.
And everyone's starting to recognise like girls footy is a lot bigger now, and understand that like everyone's taking it quite seriously, which is like really good for us, because more people come to support us and be more interested in our footy, which is like encouraging as a player to be able to play well and like stay motivated, which is
like even being able to play like your junior footy and know that there's that pathway there. Like when I was playing for my first few years, it was just like, I'm here for a good time, but I'm going to be done soon because I have to find a job and find a career. Whereas I think when I was like 17, that's when they announced the league, and I was like, well, this is like huge. And I think that changes like how you go about things as well. Like it changes how people ask you about it, because no one would really probably ask me about it before that, but then once it became an option, like you start getting people like, oh, you're gonna try do this, and it definitely, people were much more interested.
I know Dad said he didn't. I like always said to him, why did you not put me into like Auskick and footy and stuff? And he's like, I honestly didn't know that there were girls teams, so it's like
it's just,
that's the reason I was
it's almost a secret. It was a secret world, whereas now it's becoming a lot more.
It's pretty exciting.
Like I lived on the same pretty much street as Darwin Falcons when I was growing up, yet I didn't know that there was this huge women's football club like there that I could potentially play for, but it was like I would have had to play under 18s, so they didn't have younger. Like it literally housed like Daisy Pearce, Darcy Gesher, Katie Brand, all these stars, and like I was just going about my life not even knowing that it was right there. So it's pretty like it's becoming much less secretive, and you kind of see, you know, more advertising and what clubs have picked our teams now, which is awesome.
Amy, you mentioned like a bit of a decrease in participation with COVID and stuff. Yeah, the YJFL seen like a decrease in female registrations in 2022. Why do you guys think that's happening?
I think COVID's really kind of stuffed it up.
Yeah.
I know that at Fitzroy, like, we've got too many girls to have one team, so we're like both quite short on numbers. But even when we play other teams, like there's been games that we're playing 11 on the field. We played out here, and we played we played 12 people out there.
And you don't want to like make it one team, because then heaps of people on the bench, and you want people to participate.
Exactly.
You don't want them to be on the bench the whole game. Yeah.
But like all the other teams that we've played as well. Like our game against Kew Rovers last weekend got cancelled because there's girls out from COVID.
Yeah, that's
just, you just don't know it's COVID as well.
Yeah.
Either. Especially because a lot of clubs are like very school based, and if like something happens within a school, like that's half the team.
Yeah.
So do you guys play at school as well? Is that an opportunity?
My school doesn't. So I go to an all-girls school, and I've pushed for 3 years to try and get a footy team, and they just won't allow it. Like they'll say
the reason?
Staff. They don't have enough staff to like coach the teams and stay after school and train us and everything.
Yeah.
So there's not even like a 1 day a year thing?
There is 1 day a year, but that's like September.
Yeah.
So we have to wait the whole year to play one game of footy for a day.
But you could be in the private school competition.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
MLC, they put a lot of time and resources into it to make it great.
That's the reason I got into footy.
Yeah.
So it's actually really important, not just in the YJFL, like local level, but also school. You can actually get more people involved.
Same with my school. MLC is definitely our biggest competitor.
What school are you at?
Gen.
Yeah.
It's the biggest game of the year. Like every class, there's always a talk about MLC.
Target on our back.
How many rounds is like the school comp?
It's
Probably 8.
8.
So
you've got to like fit that in.
Yeah.
Juggling.
Yeah.
Charges and all that.
But we all love it, so it's like quite fun. And trainings are good as well. We have quite a few teams, so our like first squad trains away from our other one, which is kind of good because we get like more quality training, and we have really like supportive coaches as well, which is like quite good.
That's awesome. Yeah, so good to talk to you all. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah,
YJFL.
it's been awesome to hear about you guys.
Good to be back.
About how footy's going and how much YJFL has progressed.
Yeah, it's great to talk with you guys.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thanks.
Yeah, good luck for today.
Thank you.
Smash it.